The world. Okay. You know who might have something to say about that?
Looking forward to the spring.
The guy on the right. Yeah, two of the league's most exciting players. 15 years apart, going head-to-head tonight in L.A. Ja and LeBron. It might be LeBron's 17th season, but his value remains unquestioned. When on the court this season, the Lakers average 114.5 points per 100 possessions. That would rank as the second best offensive efficiency in the league. On the other side, Ja is the front runner for Rookie of the Year. He leads all rookies in points and assists and his 9 double-doubles, nearly 2 times more than any other rookie. Again, Zion has missed most of the season, but just saying. If the season ended today, these two teams would be facing off in the first round. Lakers won each of the first 2 meetings this season by 29 in October and then by just 1 point in November. All right, Dave McMenamin, our Lakers reporter, joins us now live from Staples Center. And Dave, Zion talked a couple weeks ago about how he was like starstruck when he faced LeBron for the first time. So tonight it's Ja, again for the 3rd time, but still, you've been around LeBron for a long time. How does he approach games like this against young stars like Ja Morant?
Yeah, Sage, remember the Big 3 era down in Miami? One of the tentpole games of that era was when Jeremy Lin came in with Linsanity, and the Heat completely shut it down. Obviously, LeBron pays attention to the attention that's being given around the league. He knows that a guy like Miles Turner of Indiana or Joel Embiid of the Sixers can make a name for themselves by making a play against LeBron, like the blocks that they had earlier in their careers. LeBron tracks these guys from a very early age. Think about guys like DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis. They're both teammates of LeBron's now. They both played in LeBron's summer camp years ago. LeBron is well aware of Ja Morant and all the skills that he brings to the court, and will be looking to make a statement against him as he always does.
Doesn't matter that he's in his 17th season, always hyper-aware. After the game tonight, Lakers host the Celtics, a team that's in 3rd in the East. That is Sunday, 3:30 Eastern on ABC. Dave, thank you. Enjoy.
P3 and Oklahoma City have already won more games than we all expected, and it's behind all of those clutch points that he's been able to score this season. But tonight, they get to go in action against the Denver Nuggets and a guy named Nikola Jokic. And what he does is get triple doubles. One of 2 players averaging 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists this season. The only other guy that's doing that is Giannis. That's the game we're getting you set for here tonight.
Welcome to NBA Countdown, presented by Mountain Dew.
And happy Friday night to you and yours. Maria Taylor alongside Adrian Wojnarowski. We've got Jay Will here and Paul Pierce. You're watching
Uncle
NBA
Paul.
Countdown.
Uncle
P.
Uncle P.
You finally accepted it. He said he wants to be a cousin, but now you're Uncle P. Are you doing okay? You're a little sick post All-Star.
Good. Happy to be back.
Glad
you made it out of Chicago.
When we say sick, he has the hand sanitizer right there. He came in with a mask, and we're just trying not to get sick. Adrian Wojnarowski, later on today in this show, he had to sit down with James Wiseman. It's the first time we're going to hear from a guy who's a potential #1 overall pick. But we start with what happened last night. And Philly was all the rage because there was a comeback in the making, down by as many as 20 without Ben Simmons. Philly was getting booed and blown out, but then the superhero stepped up. That guy, he took flight, 39 points, 16 rebounds for Joel Embiid, and the 76ers get an overtime win against the Nets. Joel doing what he said he would do from now on, and that's dominate with things like that, a Euro step. Here's what he had to say after the win, though. Just proving I'm here, I belong, and being the best player in the world. I just intend to keep coming out every single night and just play hard, trying to get wins, and just go out and try to win a championship. This is the Joel Embiid that Paul Pierce has been begging for, clamoring for.
Yes.
Is he the best player in the world?
Well, I'm not so sure if he's the best player in the world. But check this out. I love that attitude.
Okay.
Because early in the season, I'm watching him, and I'm like, this is not Joel Embiid. He's not giving me anything on Twitter. He's not talking smack. He's not giving me this. He's not giving me that. And when he comes out and he talks like this type of confident player, that's who he is. And you can see it in his play. I mean, he's a dominant factor out there. When he's quiet and he's not in the game, I don't know who this guy is. When he's playing with this swagger and he's talking that mess, that's the guy I like to see. I don't know if he's the best, but he's up there when he's playing that way.
Yeah, he ain't the best. He's a little bit crazy, but in order to be great, you have to be a little bit crazy.
Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
Paul? So my thing is, I just want him to be that way all the time. Just be consistently the supervillain.
Sure.
Talk to everybody. But look, I still think there's some questions about Joel, about his conditioning, right? Like my man, like what's the regular tempo that a starter would play? He plays the first 8 or 9 minutes and he comes out. then he plays, the next 6 or 7 minutes of the second quarter. Like, he subs himself out a lot. So I still, as his conditioning gets better, I think that will help him be the supervillain more, and we'll see more productivity in his game.
Well, I think the conditioning, but also we talk a lot about motivation when it comes to Joel Embiid and whether or not he has it every single time he steps on the court. I mean, when we think about what he was able to do in this first game back from All-Star break, I think our expectations are pretty high with what he's going to do moving forward.
Well, I think the key for this Philadelphia team, and you saw it when Embiid was out and the team was playing through Ben Simmons. Simmons played at a really high level. Simmons is out last night. Joel Embiid comes out, has maybe his best game of the season. What the Sixers need is for those two players to do that together and for those two guys to figure out how to play together because they are still talented enough. They still have enough there to beat anybody in the Eastern Conference.
I will say this, too. They have a $100 million guy coming off the bench now. That's Al Horford.
That's the biggest key for me.
That's Al Horford. That's huge.
That's going to be key moving forward, the lineup change.
Agreed.
Only played 19 minutes, and the Nets outscored Philly 59-33 while Horford was in. A game ago, or at least exactly one show ago, you were asking us whether or not they couldn't play together. But now we're asking ourselves what the Nets are going to look like without Kyrie Irving because he's out for the season. Arthroscopic surgery on his right shoulder. Now remember, he missed 26 games over the span of about 2 months, and that right shoulder impingement, he had a cortisone shot in it, and then obviously not able to come back into the game. When he did play, though, Kyrie was really tough to stop. Averaged 27 points. That's the most in a season in his career. Also recorded 3 45-point games, including 2 in late January. That's the most in a season in Nets history, surpassing Vince Carter. So, I mean, I guess the question is right now, what do we think about Kyrie's season? It's completely come to an end. If we had to sum it up, how would we?
Paul? I mean,
listen, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. It is what we thought it was going to be. We didn't expect much from the Nets with just being led by Kyrie. They need Kevin Durant if they have any expectations. They were going to be a front-running team, a little bit more fun to watch, but we didn't have any expectations. Let's be honest about this team. I mean, Kyrie was going to put up big numbers. Exactly. We knew that. Maybe make an all-star. Unfortunately, injuries derailed them, but we didn't have big expectations without Kevin Durant.
Look, I think, quietly said, I think this might be one of the best things for them, right? It shifts all the focus to next year for him and Kevin Durant. And I have to be honest with you, I need Kyrie to take a break instead of being in front of the camera. It seems like every time he's in front of the camera, this year in particular, I don't know if it's because of frustrations or certain things that have happened, it's become bigger than the team. And the team has been doing okay, right? But then it becomes about Kyrie. And I think now having time to actually regroup, regather, get ready for next year, that's what everybody's focused on next year. They can win it with Kevin and Kyrie next year.
So let's go big picture then. Since the Nets obviously are going to have Kyrie back on the court again, it's hard to move forward when you don't even really know what you have. You haven't seen Kevin Durant out there. You've had 17 games where your potential starters were even available, Woj. So how do you move forward if you are the Nets organization?
Well, I think there's a lot of optimism around Kevin Durant's return, where he is physically, how he's looked, how he's recovered from this Achilles injury. And so, listen, he'll have plenty of time to be ready for training camp. Both of them should be ready for camp next year. And listen, they had the right complementary pieces around this team. The Spencer Dinwiddies, Joe Harris is a player they want to re-sign in free agency, but there's no reason that a healthy Nets team isn't among, the challengers to win the Eastern Conference next season. They were built to do that, and that's still in front of them.
Sure. Yeah, Joe Harris, one of the best shooters in the NBA from three-point range, but also becoming an unrestricted free agent. But Woj, you have some news to report?
Yeah, Ramona Shelburne and I are reporting that the Lakers are planning to waive DeMarcus Cousins in the next 24 to 48 hours. Went down with a knee injury earlier this season. He had talked about possibly maybe being ready to come back and play in the playoffs, but we're told that the Lakers' plan is to waive Cousins.
Wow, that's big news because like you said, I thought he was trying to make his way back for the playoffs, but maybe they're opening up a roster spot for somebody on the waiver wire. So that'll be interesting to see what the Lakers do to replace that spot.
I don't know if they want to take a chance, but you talk about a guy who can go get a bucket. Deion Waiters, I know he's a handful because of issues that have came along with Miami, but he can still go get you some buckets here and there.
Yeah, and that was a player, Rob Pelinka, who the Lakers GM president, who was also Deion Waiters' agent for a significant part of his career. They plan to have a conversation with him here, see where his head was, and again, this is a Laker team that is absolutely, like the Clippers, in win-now mode, and they are going to every roster spot is precious in that way, and I think that's what it signals here with the move with Cousins.
Yeah, to be honest, I think this is a move because of what we've seen the Clippers been able to do. They picked up, Reggie Jackson,
Marcus Morris.
Morris.
So I was going to say, does that affect?
What do the Lakers do now? Because the rich got richer for the Clippers.
They didn't get Collison, they didn't get Marcus Morris, as you mentioned, and so now they're waiving Boogie Cousins, and that opens up that roster spot. That's why Woj is here.
Wow.
So when we have breaking news, you get it right here on NBA Countdown.
I heard that one.
I know, because it's fresh.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. All right.